Hello there, and welcome to Purposeful Podcasting. I'm Wendy, and I'm here with Crystal.
Hi.
This is the second part of a series that is part of our promotion for Purposeful Podcasting Bootcamp. Today, we are going to talk about profit. I think for a lot of people, profit has been, or anything to talk about money has been like a dirty word. But you know what? I hate to say this. Actually, I don't hate to say this. I love to say this, that you have to make money in order to have a business. You have to actually make money. And when I mean making money is you have to make a profit. So I'm going to turn it over to Crystal, who's our profit expert. Would you like to call yourself a profit expert?
I mean, I had a profitable business this year. So does that make me an expert? Sure.
Yeah. I think that sounds great. Yes. Ooh, that means I had a profitable business.
You did have a profitable business.
So to talk more about what is profit?
Guys, profit is your revenue minus expenses. So it's basically, I think a lot of people say, I made 6 figures this year. Okay, great. What was your profit? Because you might have billed 6 figures this year to clients. What were your expenses? And sometimes I also think that when I ask, what are your expenses, I would really like to know what your time is worth to you as well.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Because, if you haven't listened to the very first episode of this little mini series, we really talked a lot about purpose. And so I'm not going to reiterate all of that. But if your purpose is I became an entrepreneur so I can spend more time at family with kiddos.
Yeah.
Okay? I hear that from a lot of moms.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That sounds great. And you can listen to our podcast episode called Mom Entrepreneurs if you really want the deep dive into that. How is your business servicing your purpose right now? How is it built to do that? And did it turn a profit? And so sometimes we can say, yes, our business has had a profit.
Right.
But I worked 80-hour weeks to get it done.
Right.
And I'm not really sure, you guys, if that's fulfilling the purpose. And that's why we often feel that burnout, that out of alignment, that just complete overwhelm and exhaustion.
Exactly.
That we're seeing so much in the online space. Yeah. And so profit is really your revenue minus your expense.
And I do think it's such a critically important piece to see how your profit, or even let's talk about it as money goals, how your money goals tie in with your purpose. Because that's exactly right. If you're looking to simplify or allow yourself to have more time, I'll tell you what, we have made it our mission that we work 25-hour work week. That to us is, I think, I know, is so unbelievably important. So what does that mean? That we'll actually be willing to take less profit because we increase our expenses by making sure that certain things are hired out. It also helps that the things that are hired out also don't necessarily align with our strengths, but that's a whole other story, which we're not going to get into right now.
Sure.
But it's part of it. And it's your time. It's also your energy. And these are critical pieces in this formula that I think come into play when we talk about profit. I guess to some extent, a lot of people are like, why does profit matter? I'm the daughter of a business owner, and many a dinner conversation was beaten into me how important profit is. I mean, profit ultimately is what puts food on your table. And I had a coach a number of years ago who basically said, Wendy, none of us are the Red Cross. And Crystal reminded me recently that even the Red Cross actually turns a profit.
They have to keep going.
Exactly.
They have to keep going. And I mean, there's a not-for-profit budget and there's things like that, but they have to make money in some capacity to pay their employees, to pay for the upkeep of the little vans that they drive around for blood donor collection. There has to be money made. And I think that a lot of entrepreneurs, when we start out, we try to DIY a lot of things because we don't have a lot of revenue coming in yet, right? Okay. Nothing wrong with that, guys. When the revenue starts coming in, though, we have to start figuring out a way to give up some of those things. that's a whole other thing too. But when you're starting to see that flip where your revenue is exceeding your expenses, okay, it's a really exciting time as an entrepreneur, right? It's like, ooh, money's coming in. It's so great. You have choices to make, okay? And I think that a lot of people end up shooting themselves in the foot in this point in the game. And again, we could go on and on and on about all of those things. But at the end of the day, we really want to look at profit, because in the online space, we hear a lot of things like, I made 7 figures and I can teach you how to do that too. Or I can teach you.
How much did you spend in Facebook ads to get there?
And are you, listener, willing to spend the same amount in expenses to make that happen? And so we really think that looking at that profit number is really, really important. Now, why does profit matter in the big scheme?
Well,
I mean, you said it's what brings food on the table.
Sure, but it's more than that. I mean, why does profit matter? Well, why does it matter to me? Because it shows me that my hard work, that my investment of time and resources and energy and money it can perpetuate. I mean, we talk a lot about having a runway. What does that mean? Is how much resources, how much money do we have? How much money, how much time, how much energy do we have to continue doing what we are doing for a certain amount of time? And I think that that's one of the things that as an entrepreneur starting, no one ever talked to me about. No one ever talked about a runway, saying, well, you have enough money to continue for X amount of time. You have enough, really, if you think about it, energy, and that could be how much, your family situation, how much, time, all of these different resources. At what point do you have to say, this is either going to take off or this is going to have to stop, and I got to put the brakes on it.
Yeah.
And I think that is such a critical piece. And we talk about this as part of like creating a podcast, because I feel that part of the creating a podcast gives you the time. It helps you align yourself, align your purpose, align your profit goals, and an easier, I'm going to say easier. Nothing is ever super easy, but easier point of entry into this space that allows you to work through the alignment and in a simplified way that really allows you to figure out, well, okay, what is my runway? Yeah. And give you it and start increasing the audience, which allows you to start to scale.
Yeah, and it's a medium that's really evergreen, guys. It's not going to go away. It won't disappear in the algorithm 30 seconds later. So podcasting is a means to growing your profit. Ultimately, as a business owner, okay, and this is coming with my marketing hat on, okay, it doesn't matter whose business comes to me, okay? I don't care if you're a divorce coach or you're a course creator or you're a funnel builder. The strategy is all the same. So at the end of the day, it does not matter what kind of business you have. Your marketing strategy is the same. I'm going to have you list build. I'm going to have you put out content that builds know, like, and trust. And I'm going to have you establish yourself as an expert. And if you can do that consistently really, really well, you can start to bring in more revenue into your business because you can sell more. And that leads you to being able to turn a profit. And at the end of the day, I think a lot of entrepreneurs like to try and say, money doesn't matter. Money doesn't matter. And we do that for one of two reasons.
Money pays for the things that are important to me.
Yeah. Well, and so I think it's like I think we say that like it's a defense mechanism, right?
Sure.
Like for a lot of different reasons. And I know this came up in our business even, and I really do think at the end of the day, we have to start saying more that money matters. It is important. Maybe in a utopian world, we wish that it wasn't. We wish we lived in Star Trek and like didn't need money, maybe.
Yeah, I know. And
So cool.
share pods or
And
something.
share pods.
Yeah.
But you guys, in the world we live in today,
Mm-hmm.
money matters.
Yeah.
And if you want to live the lifestyle that you want to live
Mm-hmm.
really, really well, if you want to be who you want to be, if you want to fulfill your purpose, your bigger life goals out there,
money has to play into
this. Yeah.
Yes.
And money
Yes.
has to play into it. And if you're not having that conversation in your home, if you're not having that conversation before you become an entrepreneur and you start
Right.
your own business, you are missing a really key piece here. If you're not having that runway conversation, Wendy and I have it. We know today how many days Serendipitous Rebel can stay in business before we need to pull the plug and pull out of this without throwing gobs and gobs of money to keep it going out of our family coffers, which would be at a disservice to our families and out of alignment with our B goals, because our B goals are to be good wives and mothers and good parts of our family.
Exactly.
The idea is that we want to bring money out of our business, not put more money into it. All businesses need some sort of capital startup. That goes without saying.
Sure.
There should be like real conversations with how much time are we giving this? How much money are we giving this? Are we in alignment with all of those things? And there's only a certain amount of time, you guys, where we say money doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, it does. It absolutely matters, because if you want to be able to do the nice things that we all enjoy doing, like traveling and running,
creating experiences for ourselves and our families and our loved ones and all of that, yes, then very, very much matters. It very much matters. And also, if you're looking to scale, and there's nothing wrong with looking to become a 6 or 7 figure entrepreneur. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you have to see profit in order to build and then continue to scale.
Exactly.
So, and we look forward to having more of these conversations in our Purposeful Podcasting Bootcamp.
Woohoo!
Yes. Yay.
All right, guys. So we'd love to hear from you. Have you looked at your profit and loss statement? It's a P&L. Do you look at your numbers? What's your runway?
Exactly. What is your runway?
What's your runway? And are you turning a profit? And until next time, I'm Crystal.
And I'm Wendy.
And we'll see you guys in the next episode of our mini-series. We're going to talk a little bit more about podcasting.
Woo! See you soon.
Bye.